Imagine standing on a concrete pier in a foreign country, watching your ship and your passport sail away without you. It is the ultimate travel nightmare, yet it happens every single week. And here is the hard truth. Most cruise disasters aren't caused by bad luck, bad weather, or bad captains. They are caused by bad decisions. We have analyzed the horror stories from thousands of travelers to bring you the definitive survival guide for 2026. From the hidden financial traps that drain your wallet before you board to the one specific item that will get you banned for life. Here are 17 decisions that are guaranteed to ruin your cruise. Let's get into it. We begin with the absolute deal breakers. These are the critical failures regarding flights and documentation that guarantee your vacation ends before it even begins. Decision number 1 is booking a flight for the morning of the cruise. This is one of the most common decisions that leaves travelers stranded at the airport while their vacation sails away without them. In the landscape of 2026 air travel, this is a gamble that often doesn't work in your favor. While a flight delay on a land-based vacation may simply mean checking into your hotel a few hours late, cruise ships operate on strict maritime schedules. They will not delay departure for individual passengers whose flights are late. If you arrive at the terminal after boarding has closed and the gangway has been removed, the ship is gone. And in most cases, there is no refund for missing the sailing. The most reliable way to reduce the risk is to fly in the day before. However, for some of you, even that may not be enough. If you are flying from the north in the middle of winter or crossing an ocean to Europe, you may want to consider a 2-day buffer. A single blizzard or major airline disruption can cancel flights for 24 hours or more. Giving yourself 48 hours adds protection and helps ensure that a snowstorm in Chicago doesn't derail your Caribbean cruise. The cost of an extra hotel night is often a small price to pay compared to risking the thousands of dollars spent on the cruise before the trip even begins. Once the logistics are settled, decision number 2 is failing to secure all necessary paperwork, not just your ticket. First, check your passport expiration date. A valid passport does not automatically mean you are cleared to sail. Many countries require that your passport be valid for several months beyond your cruise end date, often 6 months depending on the itinerary. If your passport does not meet the destination's requirements, you may be denied boarding. While you can technically sail on certain closed-loop U.S. cruises with just a birth certificate, this is a risky strategy. If a medical emergency forces you to fly home from Mexico or the Bahamas, a birth certificate alone will not allow you to board an international flight. But the most overlooked trap involves children. If you are a grandparent, step-parent, or a divorced parent with a different last name than the child you are traveling with, a passport may not always be sufficient. To prevent international child abduction, authorities sometimes require a notarized letter of consent from the absent parent or legal guardian. Without it, you could face delays or even denial of boarding. Do not assume being a biological parent is enough. If names differ or one parent is not traveling, bring the proper documentation. And a final warning: never pack these documents in the bag you check at the curb. Keep them in your carry-on at all times. Next up, decision number 3 involves failing to review the prohibited items list. Cruise ship security is tighter than ever. Bringing a steamer or clothes iron might seem like a smart idea, but these items are considered fire hazards and will be confiscated if discovered. Even certain surge protectors and extension cords are not permitted, depending on the ship's electrical policies. However, a far more serious infraction involves controlled substances. In an era where cannabis is legal in many states and countries, travelers sometimes assume they can bring it on board. This is a critical error. Cruise ships departing from U.S. ports operate under U.S. federal law, where marijuana remains illegal regardless of state legalization. In 2023, a passenger was removed from Mariner of the Seas in Jamaica after being caught with medical marijuana. The guest was disembarked and required to arrange his own return travel. Claiming ignorance will not protect you. Always review the prohibited items list before you pack. Once on board, do not make decision number 4, attempting to skip the mandatory safety drill. While modern technology has streamlined the process, allowing guests to watch safety videos on their phones, you are still required under international maritime safety regulations to complete the muster process and check in at your assigned assembly station. This is not optional. Do not attempt to hide in your stateroom to avoid it. Crew members track which guests have not completed the drill and will actively follow up. If you fail to comply, your vacation will be interrupted until you do. Continued refusal to participate can result in disciplinary action, including removal from the ship before departure or disembarkation at the next port without a refund. Next, let's talk about your wallet. Here are the subtle booking traps and hidden fees that look like savings, but will actually drain your bank account before you even order your first drink. Decision number 5 is the bargain bin blindness. Booking the cheapest cruise simply for the sake of the low price tag. While everyone appreciates saving money, selecting a sailing based solely on the lowest fare often leads to disappointment. The lowest prices are most commonly found on a cruise line's older vessels or less in-demand sailings. These ships may lack the newest attractions and features heavily advertised in commercials. For example, if your goal is to experience a roller coaster at sea, that feature is currently exclusive to Carnival's XL class ships, Mardi Gras, Celebration, and Jubilee. Booking an older generation ship because it was cheaper means you won't have access to those headline attractions. Furthermore, the lowest advertised fare is typically for an interior cabin with no windows. If your vision of the perfect cruise includes waking up to an ocean view and stepping onto a private balcony, that experience comes at a higher price point. Closely related to budget mismanagement is decision number 6, trying to cram an entire family into a single stateroom. It might seem like a smart financial move to book one cabin for 4 people, but the reality of cruise ships' square footage is harsh. Standard cabins are typically smaller than the average hotel room. In most cases, you won't find 2 double beds. Instead, 3rd and 4th guests are accommodated in Pullman beds that fold down from the ceiling or on sofa beds, which can significantly reduce usable floor space. Rather than tripping over suitcases and arguing over who gets the sink, the superior strategy is to book 2 connecting staterooms or an interior room across the hall from a balcony. While this costs more, the value of having 2 bathrooms cannot be overstated, especially when everyone is trying to get ready for dinner at the same time. Finally, don't book a lower-tier room assuming a free upgrade will appear. With many ships sailing near maximum occupancy in 2026, complimentary upgrades from an interior to a balcony are far less common than they once were. If you book the smallest cabin, you should expect to stay in it. Be warned, decision number 7 is a digital disaster waiting to happen, failing to switch your phone to airplane mode. Once the ship is offshore, your phone may automatically connect to a maritime cellular network, such as Cellular at Sea, which operates via satellite. These networks are not covered by most domestic mobile plans, and roaming charges can be extremely expensive, often billed per megabyte of data. To avoid unexpectedly high charges, keep your device in airplane mode while at sea and use the ship's Wi-Fi if you need connectivity. Many cruise lines, including Royal Caribbean, offer discounted rates when Wi-Fi packages are purchased before sailing compared to onboard pricing. Rounding out the financial traps, decision number 8 involves skipping travel insurance. No one likes to imagine a medical emergency or a family crisis ruining a vacation, but assuming you are immune to misfortune is a costly error. Once that deposit is paid, life can get in the way. From sudden illness before embarkation to a broken ankle on a shore excursion. Without insurance, the cost of a medical evacuation at sea can easily exceed $20,000 and, in some cases, climb much higher, often requiring payment arrangements before transport. A robust travel insurance policy can protect against trip interruptions, lost baggage, and major medical expenses. Whether it is a delayed flight that causes you to miss the ship or a sudden need to return home, insurance provides the financial safety net that turns a disaster into a manageable inconvenience. Coverage varies, so always read the fine print to ensure it includes medical protection and emergency evacuation. Now, let's move to conduct and safety. These bad decisions are dangerous, and making them won't just ruin your day, they can get you sick, fined, or banned from cruising for life. Decision number 9 is a physiological oversight, suffering from the invincibility complex when it comes to seasickness. Motion sickness isn't a matter of willpower, it's a biological response to the ship's movement. Assuming you won't get sick simply because the vessel is large is a mistake that can quickly derail a vacation. Ocean conditions can change rapidly. The smart decision is to pack remedies before you need them. Whether it is over-the-counter medication like Bonine or a prescription scopolamine patch from a doctor, having treatment on hand makes a significant difference. Trying to find relief after nausea has already set in is often far less effective and may leave you spending valuable vacation time in bed instead of enjoying the ship. Be careful because decision number 10 is the most dangerous one a guest can make. Climbing, sitting on, or throwing items over the exterior railings. In the era of viral content, some passengers attempt to capture the perfect selfie by sitting on the balcony ledge or worse, jumping overboard. This is not just foolish, it is fatal. Many modern cruise ships utilize man-overboard detection technology and extensive exterior camera systems, though coverage varies by vessel. In 2019, a passenger on Symphony of the Seas was banned for life after a balcony stunt went viral. Even flicking a cigarette butt into the ocean violates cruise line policy and maritime pollution rules. If you're caught throwing items overboard or tampering with safety barriers, you can face fines, removal from the ship, and potentially a ban from the cruise line. Number 11 involves a less dangerous but equally expensive decision: smoking in non-designated areas. Many travelers assume they can smoke or vape on their private balcony. This is a critical error. Most cruise lines prohibit smoking on balconies, and modern ships are equipped with fire detection systems and surveillance that can quickly identify violations. If a violation is confirmed, security may respond, and a cleaning fee, often ranging from $250 to $500, can be charged to your onboard account. Repeated or serious violations can result in further disciplinary action. To avoid penalties, strictly adhere to the designated smoking areas, which vary by ship and are clearly marked in the Daily Planner and Onboard app. For parents, decision number 12 is a specific trap: booking a ship without verifying the splash zone policy. Due to U.S. public health regulations, children who are not fully potty trained are generally prohibited from entering standard cruise ship pools and hot tubs. Swim diapers are not considered an acceptable alternative in main pools because they do not meet maritime sanitation standards. If you book a ship that does not have a designated splash pad or toddler water play area designed for children in swim diapers, your toddler will not be allowed in the main pools. Not every ship has these facilities. Before placing a deposit, verify the deck plans and family amenities to ensure the vessel has appropriate water features for infants. Or you may spend the week explaining why they can't join the other kids in the pool. Finally, we have the logistical nightmares. These are the timing and planning errors that turn a relaxing dream vacation into a stressful, chaotic mess where you are always running late. Decision 13 is procrastination regarding excursions and entertainment. Waiting until you are on board to book your tours or shows is a guarantee that the best experiences will be sold out. In 2026, high-demand activities, from helicopter tours to the marquee comedy and aqua shows on megaships, are often fully booked weeks in advance via the cruise app. Relying on last-minute availability means missing the highlights. Furthermore, limiting your excursion search to the cruise line ignores the value of third-party operators who often provide smaller group sizes and better rates for the exact same experience. This brings us to decision number 14, selecting the wrong dining preference. Your choice between traditional dining, fixed time, same table, and flexible dining dictates your entire evening. Choosing traditional dining when you prefer spontaneity means you're tied to a strict schedule, potentially missing sunsets or sailaways. Conversely, choosing flexible dining without making reservations can result in long wait times during peak hours, sometimes leaving you standing in line or waiting for a notification while the evening show begins without you. Understanding the dining flow of your specific ship is crucial to ensuring you eat when you want, not simply when a table becomes available. Decision 15 is the classic pier runner mistake, ignoring the difference between ship time and local time. Cruise ships operate on ship time, which does not always match the local time in port. Some ships remain on the time zone of their embarkation port, while others adjust clocks throughout the itinerary. However, your smartphone may automatically update to local time as soon as it connects to a cellular tower in port. If the ship remains on Miami time but you are in Cozumel, there can be a 1-hour difference. Relying solely on a smartphone clock has caused countless passengers to arrive at the pier just as the gangway is being raised. The ship will not delay departure for late arrivals. Always confirm the official ship time listed in the daily planner and use a watch or device set to that time, because the only clock that matters is the captain's clock. On your final night, avoid decision number 16, also known as the disembarkation disaster, packing absolutely everything away. On the last evening, guests are asked to place tagged luggage in the hallway for collection. The mistake happens when travelers pack their clothes for the next morning, their toiletries, and even their passports into those checked bags. That's how people end up leaving the ship in pajamas or scrambling at customs because their ID is sitting in a suitcase already unloaded into the terminal. Always keep a dedicated carry-on with a change of clothes, essential medications, and all travel documents to ensure the final morning is as smooth as the rest of your voyage. Finally, decision number 17 is the most subjective yet the most critical bad decision. Booking the wrong cruise line for your specific stage of life or personal style. The cruise industry is not a monolith. It is a collection of distinct personalities. A 5-star review from a traveler who loves dressing up in tuxedos for formal nights on Cunard is worthless to someone who wants to wear shorts to dinner on Norwegian. You must look beyond the price and the destination to understand the vibe. If you hate crowds and structured schedules, a megaship with 6,000 passengers will feel like a prison, no matter how new it is. Conversely, if you crave Broadway shows and go-karts, a quiet, intimate luxury liner will bore you to tears. Do not book based on a generic top 10 list. Book the ship that matches your energy, or you will spend a week trapped in paradise with a vibe you cannot stand. A dream cruise doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. Have you ever witnessed a pier runner missing the ship? Or have you made one of these mistakes yourself? Drop your story in the comments below. For more strategies that the cruise lines won't tell you, make sure to subscribe and watch our next video. Happy cruising!